Okay, let's just start out with a couple of normal bends. So we've got the bend from one fret to another, just up one fret. So for example, if I'm on 12, you just bend up to the sound of 13. Then you got a tone bend. So 2 frets worth, or we can bend up from 15 to 17. We can put vibrato at the top of it. And then we can go 3 frets worth, or a tone and a half. So we could start on 17 and bend to the sound of 20. Back to a tone. Then a semitone. 1 fret. Okay, then we have a pre-bend. So that's the idea that you would bend the string up first and then pick the note afterwards. So instead of hearing the upward journey, you only hear the fall. So. Then you could do that repeatedly. Though it can sound like a kind of whimpering dog. Okay, the third one's going to be a unison bend. So for example, if I put my index finger on the 12th fret of the high E, and then my ring fingers on the 15th fret of the B string, this is a D note, and if I were to bend it up 2 frets, I would reach an E note. And this E note, if your guitar's in should sound the same as the 12th fret on the high E. So this note and this note should sound the same. When you start a unison bend, finger on the D and then the E, and when you pluck both strings, you're going to get a clash because they're only a tone apart. But as this slowly bends upwards, it should become the same note as this one. And then if you just do it, instead of slowly rising, if you just go for it. A much thicker sound than a single bend by itself. So there's that E note, just normal. And then with the unison bend. A small variation on this is that you can, instead of just doing the bend once, you can let go and re-pick several times and continue to bend the string up like this. So instead of, here's the unison bend as it was, and then if I keep repeatedly bending the string up and re-picking, okay, this one's one of my favorites. So this is where you bend up, like it could be any distance, but let's say a tone, so 2 frets worth, and you bend up very quickly. So you bring the string up and down almost immediately. But then you start to rise very slowly again after it, so like this. Almost sounds like a car revving. Okay, this one's more subtle. So this is called a quarter tone bend. So even if you were just to bend 1 fret's worth, say from 5 to 6, so the C natural to C sharp, that's still going to be a semitone, which is half of a tone. So, but you can actually bend ones that are even smaller than this distance. So there's a note or several notes between this note and this one. So here would be 5 to 6. So but if we bend just what's called a quarter tone, so in between that, so it's not, It's not quite there. In between. It's quite a subtle one, so you have to listen carefully for that one. So let's combine a couple. So let's say the pre-bend that we were talking about before. We just hear the fall. If I pull off, at the bottom of the bend, if I pull off from 10 to 8, from the A to G, I could do a semitone bend from the G up to G sharp. So pre-bend, fall, pull off, and then bend up a semitone, all with one pick. The one that I associate with Pink Floyd, something I hear David Gilmour do a lot. So, for example, if I bend up a tone, but then let the bend come back down and then bend up a tone and a half. This is another great one for blues. So if you're in like a E minor pentatonic, well, it would normally have a G. But because in the blues you can either be playing G, even though the chord itself has a G sharp, it's quite common to hear that G natural against it. It's part of what creates that bluesy sound. But that obviously, as well as the G, we can actually play the G sharp because this is the actual note in the chord. Right? So this is quite a cool one. So you get to play both, where you're bending up the G to the sound of A, and then back down again, and then only up as far as G sharp. So it's a tone, back, and then a semitone. Okay. Here's another one, this time in the sort of a Robert Johnson style. So we're going to be trying to play a E chord, but we're going to be playing this G sharp and this B, but we're going to be starting from a fret underneath in both cases and bend up both strings by one fret. So if I'm on 12, I'll be trying to bend to the sound of 13, and then if I'm on 11, this one's going to be trying to get to 12. A variation on that is to like a lap steel one where this 12th fret's going to stay the same, but the 11 on the G is going to try and get to the sound of G sharp on the G string. So the next one is where you bend the string up, but then as you bring it down, you slowly keep re-picking it. So for example, okay, the next one is going to be tremolo. So normally tremolo picking is just re-picking a single note, or it could be several different notes. The idea is that notes are being repeated multiple times in a row. So you can do that when you're bending as well. So and the last one is you're bending up, and then at some point the adjacent string also gets stuck under your fingers, and you start to pick that as well. You get quite an aggressive sound. Alright, that's us. Thanks for watching. If anyone else knows any other ways to bend the strings, different cool techniques, let me know down below in the comments. Alright, see you next time.